From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger, and we are looking at your afternoon update. Now, the National Weather Service has allowed the dense fog advisory to expire. That being said, the visibility is still rather low in some areas, but we are seeing improving visibilities here nonetheless. Still those gray skies, and I expect that those gray skies, for some, and really, quite honestly, many of us, may see that linger through a good portion of the afternoon. So let's take a look at the visibilities as we do go through the afternoon, and you can see there will be some improvement, but you're still seeing even below 10 miles an hour, which means those gray skies may stick around here through the mid-afternoon hours. Now, what's interesting is this. As we go into 5 o'clock, again, we're still seeing 4 to 7, even 8 mile visibility. But look what happens overnight. As we go into 10 o'clock tonight, we're seeing the fog redevelop. So we'll probably see more fog develop tonight before the rain moves in tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at your headlines. We could still see, outside of the fog that we're seeing in the valley, right? We could still see some isolated afternoon sprinkles. We actually do have a cold front that's breaking apart as it moves through, but it may sustain enough of itself to give us a few sprinkles here and there, especially for the coast and in some of the mountains, but otherwise dry. Now, we do have that wet pattern returning and really arriving by tomorrow morning and sticking around with that wet weather pattern here off and on through all of next week. Snow levels will still be fairly high, expected to start off around 5,000 to 6,000 feet. And then we're also talking about the first day of winter. That's tomorrow on Saturday, the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. But then we start to see those daylight hours increase after that. So here's your forecast at a glance for the rest of the afternoon. Yeah, a lot of that fog, kind of the overcast gray skies in the valley, mostly cloudy for everyone else, and including that chance for a sprinkle or two. So the reason I'm calling for the chance for sprinkles is this cold front right here. Now, as it approaches and hits the ridge of high pressure that's in place now, we're still seeing a lot of the cloud cover move in, but we may see just enough of the shower activity associated with this front to kind of hold itself together to bring us a sprinkle or two. But that would be it. The main event's going to be this storm system right here. That's what's going to be moving in tomorrow morning, bringing us more rainfall, snow in the mountains, and even some gusty winds. So as we enter into this more wet weather pattern, we've got to have a source of moisture, and we've got plenty of it. You see all these streams of moisture that we're seeing here for the weekend? This is all the source of moisture for the storm systems, which means there's plentiful moisture for these storms to work with, which means also that we'll see a decent amount of rainfall. There you can see going in the middle and latter part of next week, we've got more streams of moisture coming on in. These would be, by definition, narrow bands of moisture being transported in the upper and lower levels of the atmosphere, of course, being atmospheric rivers. They're just not very long-lived atmospheric rivers. You're seeing one after another. They're here for about 12 hours, they move on out, then another one comes in behind it. And we're seeing breaks in between, which is the way you want it. You don't want all the rain at once, because that's when we start worrying about flooding. But look at this afternoon, 5 o'clock. You see how we have the clouds out there? There still may be some low clouds along the coast. The Futurecast typically doesn't show that fog for the valley. But we, of course, can see there may be a sprinkle or two in some areas. Then we go into tonight and tomorrow. There it is. That's the first band of moisture, another little band of moisture coming in behind that. So at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, yeah, we're seeing the rain in the valley, but still dry for Modoc County, the eastern mountains. But then through the morning, of course, that rain moves in. You're seeing the blue, which is the snow. That's going to be about 5,000, 6,000 feet or higher. That's still 10 a.m. on Saturday. Let's take you to the noon hour. You can see here it's all pushing eastward, still some showers, but the heaviest is now off to the east of the valley. And then through the afternoon, it's actually starting to dry out. Now there's still, because it's going to be overcast skies, there's going to be a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, there may still be some drizzle in there, but overall we're not looking at anything very organized at this point. And that's going to be through the night. Saturday night, that is. Then we go into Sunday morning, we're seeing this brief little area of moisture pushing through, giving us some very light showers across the region. Most of us will be asleep when this is happening. But then we go to the noon hour, you see how it's dry, but we have the next source of moisture coming in. That's going to bring us more moderate rainfall coming in Sunday evening, Sunday night. And notice snow levels are still fairly high. At their lowest, maybe 5,000 feet, but honestly, that might be pushing it. We take a look at the amount of rainfall we can expect through Sunday evening, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch in the valley, and maybe a little bit more than that for the coast, and obviously less off to the north and east. So some decent rain coming out of this over the weekend. Once again, Futurecast does want to maybe show a little bit of snow out towards Chester, Quincy. Don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be above even those elevations. I mean, Chester, you're at about 4,500 feet. Most likely the snow will be above that. So where we're seeing most of this snow is places like the Trinity Alps, the Marble Mountains, the mountain of Mount Shasta, right? The Warner Mountains, Lassen Peak. Some of those higher elevations above 5,000, 6,000 feet. Some decent snow. I mean, you see the pinks and the blues. I mean, that's what, 8 to even 12 inches of snow. So that certainly is going to be a very good possibility. So let's take a look at the big picture, walk you through the timing of all this. Keep in mind, this is all going to change as we get into the weekend and go into next week as far as the timing and intensity. But what you'll notice here, there's Saturday's storm system, there's Sunday into Monday. Behind that is going to be Monday into Tuesday. So we have this parade of storms off over the Pacific that are heading our way. Now you saw the timing of this weekend storm, so as we go into Sunday evening into Monday, that's the next storm system. Monday, actually not terribly wet, so we'll call it a chance for a few showers, but by Monday night into Tuesday, we've got the next storm coming in. There's the next chance of rain. Also notice the dip in the jet stream here. This is cooler air. This will allow those 5,000 to 6,000 foot snow levels to drop to maybe 4,000 feet by Tuesday. This, unfortunately, is perfect timing for a lot of you traveling on Christmas Eve in the mountains. Chain requirements in some of the lower mountain passes may be an issue. That moves on out, and really, for as long as I've been forecasting the weather for Christmas Day, the long-range forecast models are consistently keeping it dry on Christmas Day. But then, as we go into Christmas night into Thursday, there's the next round of rain. There's another trough, right? Cooler air pooling down. Snow levels may even be a little bit lower. Then on Friday into Saturday, we've got more storms. You see how they're just still kind of out over the Pacific, and they're still heading our way through most likely the weekend after Christmas. So this wet weather pattern is going to stick around. And it's a lot of rainfall. Remember, I was talking about the atmospheric rivers. There's plentiful moisture for these storms to work with, which means a good amount of rainfall. Now, as it stands right now, through Thursday, we could see 3 to even 5 inches of rain for parts of the valley, 5 to 7 inches of rain for the coast, and probably about 3/4 to 1.5 inches to parts of the eastern mountains in Modoc County. Winds too. We're going to be looking at those winds. They're a little gusty along the coast, central Siskiyou County, but as the main storm system begins to pass on Saturday, what's going to happen is the winds will pick up for the coast, even parts of Trinity County, central Siskiyou County, a little breezy for the coast. Then we go into Saturday around noon. Now the wind's dying down, but still breezy for the coast. Still strong winds for central Siskiyou County. Still a little breezy for the valley. Now the winds are stronger off to the east. Then by tomorrow afternoon, the winds subside. But look at this. By Sunday, with the approaching storm system coming in, that's going to bring us some strong winds again, especially for the coast, central Siskiyou County. Then they should die down by Sunday night into Monday. So you get the idea. As these storms come through, decent rain, good rain coming through, snow above 5,000, 6,000 feet, and some wind associated with these storms as well. So for your Friday, the rest of the day, we're going to keep it overcast. We're going to keep those gray skies for the valley. I think we'll be lucky to get into the mid-50s, quite honestly. I think it'll be more like the upper 40s, maybe some low 50s. And then for the mountains, we're talking 40s. And for the coast, I've got those temperatures somewhere in the low 60s for your daytime highs. So we'll take a look at that 7-day outlook. And yes, the wet weather pattern, it's here. It will be by the weekend. Dry for Christmas Day, and then more showers for the day after Christmas. Same situation for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. We take a look at Siskiyou, Modoc, and the Eastern Mountains. 6,000 feet on average, give or take, through Monday. Snow levels dropping on Tuesday, dry for Christmas Day, and then snow levels down to as low as 3,500 feet for Mount Shasta City, in particular on Thursday of next week. Well, that's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.
Wiggly mouth.
Woggy mouth.
No.
Painting.
Wiggy mouth.
It's Woogie Moth Painting.
It's Wogamoth painting, and yes, we'll paint anything.